It's episode 243. It's the Game of the Year episode for 2018. And to celebrate such a momentous occasion, I've dug through the old archives, found a who the f*** said that nobody's going to get. The light of one year is only outshone by the promise of the next. Who the f*** said that?
That was Gertrude.
Gertrude?
Yeah.
Close.
Ooh, I know. Who the f*** cares?
All right. And on that note... Welcome to episode 243 of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. Today is Monday, the 10th of December, 2018. I am your host, Snoogs, and here with me is everybody.
Yeah!
Episode this week. Rem, Grejio, and of course, even Lucas has joined us.
I'm here and I'm not editing. I'm actually here.
Yes. Until he says something wrong and then he's editing.
Yeah, editing Lucas may still appear. Who knows? If I say something stupid, I'll fix it.
Oh, well. Rem, how are you travelling this week? Has it been a fun week since our last podcast?
It's been, yeah. I mean, it's been crazy organising for Christmas and having had an early Christmas with my family in the last couple of weeks. It's just been crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Christmas hasn't even started yet.
I stand firmly by my bar humbug. Grejio.
I'm with Rem, obviously, because I've been with Rem for last week. And yeah, it's been busy. I took a day off today and did some Christmas shopping. It took me all day, especially, and like, I don't know if anyone is like me, but I don't like shopping at the best of times, let alone when I have no idea what to get people. So window shopping kills me. And I've done it 2 days in a row now. I had to do some yesterday, and I did some more today. I got the majority of it done. I'm almost finished. But I'm glad today's over.
Well, that's always a bummer.
I love Christmas, but damn, I hate shopping.
And Lucas, welcome back, mate.
Thank you very much. Good to be back.
That's good. How's things travelling in your world at the moment?
Mate, I am loving Christmas. This time of year, it's always exciting and fun. And today I actually went out and did some Christmas shopping as well. I spent probably about $450 on Christmas presents today.
Nice.
Yeah, and I enjoyed every moment of it because all of those presents are for me.
I was about to say, how many of those are for everyone else?
So yeah, I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the festive season, the silly season, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas. I usually always do.
Yes, I must admit the older the girls get, the less of the bar humbug comes out of me, but it still happens occasionally to a point where I took all the tinsel off my desk at work today. It was annoying me, and I was having a bad day, so lucky I didn't throw it out the window. Oh, well, so as we've all known, the last few weeks I've been letting people know about a few little bits and pieces. So if you guys that are listening want to get in touch with us, you can reach out, of course. We're always available via our social media channels and, of course, Discord. Or, Lucas, seeing as though you're here, where can they shoot an email, mate?
To info@AussieGamersExpress.com.
Beautiful. And if you're enjoying the show or you've just got some feedback, you want to leave us a review or a comment on your preferred listening platform. So, are you guys ready to jump into the Game of the Year show? 2018?
I'm limbered up. I'm greased up.
Yeah.
Stretched. Everyone's ready to dive in. All right. Well, here we go. This week's show in preview, as we've said, it is the 2018 Game of the Year special. So we've got our biggest disappointments, our honourable mentions, the big one, Game of the Year for 2018, and to round things off, our most anticipated for 2019. let's get stuck in, shall we, with our biggest disappointments?
Let's do it.
Do it. Rem, let's kick it off with you.
Sure. So my first big disappointment is probably a pretty obvious one. It's Fallout 76 because I don't even want to play it. I'm just so not impressed. I can't even bring myself to play the damn game. I'm just like, it's not worth the install on my Xbox.
and it's a big install.
It's huge.
But what about all of those things that you can walk around and read?
All those things that, and then the game breaks for me. Yay! And I've got to do it all over again. Yeah, that sounds like heaps of fun.
So I rushed today to get some game time in with Fallout 76 today before the show.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you this. Before I objective, the game had already glitched out twice for me. Now, nothing game breaking, but definitely immersion breaking stuff. Like, I went into my map and I forgot that I was on an online game, so going into your map doesn't pause the game anymore. I was looking at my map, and all of a sudden I got attacked by a mole rat. And when I came out of my map, I was inside of myself and had 3 hands and 2 machetes.
That sounds like sexy.
It is post-apocalypse, mate. That's kind of what happens.
So yeah, I was able to see the inside of my face and see the inside of my stomach. And
it's a Ubisoft title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought I was going to be stuck like that. I thought I was going to have to reload the game to fix this because it seemed like everything I did to jump and move around didn't seem to fix it. But I finally worked out how to fix it, got it fixed. And then I literally walked down the road and one of those government drop crates was there.
Mm-hmm.
And it had landed in a wall.
Oh.
I lie. It glitched 3 times. I'll come back to the third one. It was sitting halfway in the wall. I grabbed all the loot out of it, and then it conveniently fell inside of the building that you can't get into. So if it had done that beforehand, all that loot would have been just stuck in the building, unable to be got to. And the first glitch I came across, I forgot about this one, was I came across one of those radiation deers. I can't remember what they're called. But anyway, one of those. And just as I was about to attack it, another one spawned literally on top of me. It would have been standing on my foot.
Yeah, that's...
Scared the shit out of me. I'm going to be honest. They're both harmless. As soon as they saw my machete, they ran. But still, it's enough for me to go, oh, shit. Oh, okay, cool. We're all right. But yeah. So 3 times before I even got to the second objective. So
awesome.
Good fun.
So, Grejio, you were next, but I'm guessing Fallout 76 was on there.
Well, look, I was actually going to leave Fallout 76 to last because I figured I would leave all my obvious ones to the end.
Oh, spoiler.
But you know what? I've decided I'm actually going to do my obvious ones first because those are the ones everyone's expecting. So Fallout 76 was one of them. So I'll move on to my next one, which was Destiny 2 Warmind.
Hogging the limelight. Now he's saying 2 in a row.
I know, right?
What happened about going around the round table? What's this? You're the head of the round table, are you?
Well, dude, okay, if that's the way you want to do it. We didn't actually talk about mine because we talked about Deb's. I'm just talking about my one.
Which is your number 5?
Number 5 was Fallout 76.
Okay. I don't know. I thought it was implied. You know, we got Deb's number 5, then we got your number 5. And then,
I figured since we'd already talked about it, we'd just move on to my next one.
Well, that just throws the order out then, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't matter. It just means I have less to talk about later on.
Well, I'm glad we organised this before we started the show. What's going on, Mr. Host Man? Come on.
Oh, I don't know. I thought, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fine, 5. Go. Just Fallout 76. I thought it was shit. Go, move.
Alrighty, Lucas, what was your number 5?
It was Fallout 76. No, Fallout's not on my list because I haven't played it yet. So my number 5 is actually probably one that I don't think any of you guys have played, and it's called The Fall 2 Unbound. Do you even know what that game is?
Yeah, I
heard
know
of
what
it.
it is.
Oh.
I was looking forward to playing it after playing the original The Fall,
Yeah, well, the original one's
and
quite
then
good.
you spoke about number 2, and I just went, ew.
Nah.
I don't think I want to bother.
Yeah, so I was massively disappointed by The Fall number 2. That was an absolute shitter of a game. It's almost like they just thought they had to go bigger and better than the first, make it longer, but then essentially they didn't have any ideas on how to make the game longer, so they just made boring, repetitive crap, and it just dragged. It was just a horrible experience. Ugh. So I didn't want to finish it.
Oh, fair enough.
Mm.
Well, my number 5, it's a little bit, I dare say, to be a little bit controversial, especially with yourself, Lucas. It's State of Decay 2.
Oh!
Outside of playing it with friends, I did not enjoy it at all. It was frustrating. It was clunky. It was slow. It looked terrible. And I understand it's from a small studio, but it looked like and it felt like a last generation indie title.
Well, that's what the last one was. It's basically an indie title.
Exactly, yeah.
But the thing is, they had the budget of Microsoft backing them for their marketing. So that's where it threw me. Overhyped.
Because the marketing was massive. So I was exceptionally hyped up, and these are obviously our lists. You know, we've all gone about them in our own way. And because I was so hyped up for State of Decay 2, I was really, really looking forward to it. We got to play it early, which was fantastic. We were allowed to stream it. We could all jump in together and have a play. And then after that sort of first week, 2 weeks, when I tried to jump back into it by myself, there was just nothing holding me there. It was just frustrating and annoying. So, yeah, it's on the list.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll forgive you for that one. Let's say hi to the chat. Hey, Radicus, Kazakyle, welcome.
Welcome, guys. All righty. Well, Rem, kick on with your number 4.
All right. So number 4 for me would probably be, I mean, can we separate main game from online? Because there's a few games that this applies with.
Yeah, you can do whatever you like.
Sweet. Sea of Thieves multiplayer for me is a dishonorable mention, because as good as the main game was, and as much as I enjoyed that,
wait, there's a main
multiplayer's
game?
just well, yeah, you know, you're talking about your cooperative versus just being absolutely griefed by everyone else. So they've separated it out.
PvE as opposed to PvP.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm talking about the PvP element, which is just, you know, I mean, we all experienced it. It's just absolute grief mongering. There's nothing really in place to stop all that griefing, and as such, it becomes an experience that I just did not want to return to. As much as I enjoy the game, I did not want to go back into a position where I'm just going to waste hours of time. Dickhead over there decides he wants to troll me and keep killing me for no reward.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like, it's fun, you know, following treasure maps and gathering up your treasures, but it's not fun to then have all of that taken away from you because there's some dude who plays it nonstop and he's unbeatable because he's amazing at the game. Yeah.
Look, I don't like that either, but I accept that that's kind of the genre you're playing in. There's no honor amongst thieves, but it's when you get that group of people that just want to kill you just for the sake of killing you. You have nothing that they want, but they're just killing. Like, you have no treasure. Like, it's all gone. It's at the bottom of the ocean. They didn't take it. They just sunk your boat, let it go. And then when you come back, they just find you and kill you again. That's the shit that I just couldn't abide by.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So while that is a player thing, really, it's the fact, I guess, that the game doesn't have anything in place to discourage that, like massively discourage that, I suppose.
Grejio, your number 4.
All right, drum roll, because I know you don't know what's coming. Destiny 2 Warmind. So I I would like to put all the DLCs in this, to be honest. And I think Curse of Osiris counts. It was December last year, so just missed out on this. But to be fair,
the poo from Curse carried over. That's all right, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think they both, up until Forsaken. I've already said this before, but Forsaken is actually Destiny 2, whereas Warmind and Curse of Osiris were Destiny 1.2. I'm not even going to say 0.5 this time because I don't actually think that's fair. It's 1.2. It just delivered. It promised new missions. They were haphazard, and they promised new stuff, which generally ended up being exotics from Destiny 1. So
beautiful. Well, Lucas, number 4, mate,
is Red Dead. No, just kidding. No,
I must admit, I sunk a little bit then.
Is anyone else getting Lucas dropping out right now?
I was like, bring it on, bitch.
No, definitely not. My number 4 is also Sea of Thieves. So yeah, couldn't agree more with Rem. That's
awesome. All right. Well,
that was a double up.
That's nice and easy. My number 4 is Defiance. And I think it's like Defiance 2022 or something. Game that was talked up about. It follows the Defiance old game. It's on PC and also ties in with comics, TV show, everything like that. But the problem is that it was just poo.
It did have an Australian actor in it. Good old Grant Bowler.
Yeah, it's got a couple in it.
But unfortunately,
a few of them were in a
shit-house game.
Yeah, it was just terrible. I still remember your analogy of it, which I won't repeat.
Oh, why not? I can't remember what it was. I want to know.
Well, you've just gone. Well, I'm trying to be nicer and not use the language as much, but you just sort of summed it up as, so we played Defiance on the weekend, and what the fuck was that shit?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yes.
It was really shit. That was really bad, that game. Like, it probably would have been, like, we would have been blown away with that game back in 1992.
Oh, hugely.
Yeah. But it's 2018. There's the door.
Yeah, it was
GTFO.
Exactly. All right, on to 3, Rem.
Once again, multiplayer. This is going to have to be Red Dead Redemption Online.
Yep.
Simply because
it's broken.
It is, and it suffers from the same issues as Sea of Thieves in that there are some absolute trolls in it, and there's no way to really discourage it. But again, this is something that I've been talking about for weeks. I've been looking forward to it, and I played it probably a grand total of like 3 hours and just gone, unless something changes, I'm not sure I want to play it again. So I don't know if you guys share that opinion, but that's yeah.
I haven't played a lot, but I've not really been exposed to any griefing as such. I've had all those moments where another of the dots comes close to you and you sort of start to sweat and like, oh, how are they going to go? I'm only a level 8 or 10 or whatever the hell I am. And that's, I've never really had any problem. I'm yet to actually have any negative confrontation with anyone.
For me, I had consistent trolling by I was constantly getting followed by a few people who I gather they were probably doing a mission, but the fact that it was so persistent toward me was probably the least fun part. But I was hogtied probably about 6 times, shot in the head several times, and then they'd seek me out. And you don't spawn far away from where you were, which is, I guess, advantageous. But yeah, they find you again really easily. So and you don't have a horse, by the way. So my horse has disappeared. Yeah, so I'm going, all right, well, this is great. And now I'm going to get shot again. So yeah, it kind of killed it. Despite having some really cool things like the map from the first game was included with the online, which was great. I think that was a really good nod. It was just a frustrating process, and it did kind of kill it for me.
No, that's fair enough.
Well, I think I called before the game even released. I said to you, Snoogs, because we were talking about what system we we're going to get it on, and I was always had my heart set on the Xbox One X. You don't have an X, you've got a Pro, and you wanted to get it on the Pro, and we're a little bit disheartened because we're not going to be able to play online together. And I said, you know what, who cares, dude? Because I'm probably not even going to play the online. I'll probably have a go of it, not really enjoy it, and put it down after a day or two, which is exactly what happened. So I was expecting not to enjoy it. It's not my kind of thing. No matter how good or bad it was never going to be my thing.
You know, it's interesting. I mean, Snoogs has had good things, like good interactions with people, and Ram's had negative interactions with people. I gave it a good hard shove on the weekend, and I had zero interaction with people. Like, it was like I was playing just the storyline. I was just doing missions. I was writing. I saw people, but we literally just rode past each other, always ignoring each other. They never, like, we tried to wave like once, and like they're gone. I'm like, oh, okay, nice to see you.
Did it bother anybody else that your stupid online character just like doesn't talk?
Yeah, it
that's
really
kind of
takes
weird
away
too.
from.
Until you ride your horse and you double tap and he spurs the horse on. That's the only time he talks.
Yeah, because you
Really?
choose that, don't you? As one of like little voice things when you make
set
your
it up,
character. Yeah. But,
but
just in those cutscenes when they're talking, you're just like, you bastard, they're talking to you.
Yeah.
You're just staring at everyone.
Speak, you dead shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of games with silent protagonists like that. I feel like you're like a dumbass.
My
Well,
character.
to be fair, Rockstar they're still living in GTA 3 at that point.
Yeah. See, my character fits the silent protagonist because he just looks like he's special anyway.
Did you make one to look like him, did you?
Yeah, it looks like me. Yeah.
Like Clive.
No, he's got. No, I like he's got scars all over his face, and they go across his mouth and whatnot. So it looks like he wouldn't have a tongue anyway.
So it works.
Kind of works for me.
Very good.
Grejio, you're number 3.
My number 3. All right. So my number 3, I didn't play, but that's part of the reason it's on the list. Did you guys hear about Super Street the game?
Super Street. No,
can't say I did.
All right. So this was a car game. Now, this is a really interesting story, and I'll make it quick. Do you guys know of the internet car group called Motor Trend?
Nope.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they pretty much they have a lot of videos on YouTube. So a lot of stuff, and they've had their shows on Netflix and stuff like that. So shows like Roadkill and Hot Rod magazine and Off Road. All these big American car magazines that have also now turned into like TV series, like sort of info shows about whatever they're talking about, whether it's off-roading, hot rodding, or whatever. And some of it's entertaining, some of it's whatever. Right? They're really big, and they're very knowledgeable. As a car person, I watch a lot of their shit because they know what they're talking about. They decided that all the computer games out there were like really shit, and they could do a better job of making one because they knew about cars. So they went and made a computer game called Super Street. Now they hyped it. They showed everyone what they would make. Like they showed lots of these little trade teasers of stuff you could do in the game, and it looked legit. Like, yeah, the graphics weren't completely up to spec, and the gameplay looked a little bit rough. But that's what we expected from a group of people who don't make computer games. What we wanted was something that was technically correct, because that's what they were claiming. So they were talking about like modifying your car and modifying the engine, and it was all cool, and the racing was going to be really good. Well, it dropped. The thing was broken as shit. It didn't run. The racing was terrible. Your AI was defying the laws of gravity. The first mistake was they went to an arcade racer. These people were talking about how they can make a realistic car game, and then moved away from making a sim to an arcade racer. What the fuck? Anyway, This is so disappointing. They got so much backlash. And when I saw, like, I was interested in playing this game. I was like, yeah, this should be really good. And then when I saw all the stuff when it first dropped, I went, yeah, I'm not touching that bag of shite with a 10-foot pole. So that's why it's number 3 on my list.
God, I know a lot about The Last of Us, but I'm not going to attempt at making one.
Exactly. Look, there's critics all over the world that are like, there's food critics. They're not chefs. They're food critics. Movie critics don't make movies. They're critics. This is where these guys are at. They're car critics. They're knowledgeable about cars. Don't go thinking you can do something better than someone else in their own field. It's just dumb.
Lucas, number 3.
Number 3 for me is Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Really?
I knew this was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that was shit. That was a really, for me, that was a bad entry. Everything went downhill since the first one, that reboot, the original one, right? I think just Tomb Raider in 2013. Yeah. The second one came out and they removed all the gory death scenes and it got a little bit B grade, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider just went even further, and it just felt soulless for me. You know, all they seem to do is sort of ramp up the abilities of Lara Croft to even more unrealistic, stupid. The climbing upside down, that's not the reason why it disappointed me. It just overall wasn't an exciting experience, and it felt like a drag, even though it was only quite short of a campaign. What did I say it was? Did I finish it in under 10?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it was, mind you, I didn't do any side stuff. I just went straight through to see what the story was like. Boss fights were a bit pathetic. It just wasn't on par with that original one. So it was disappointing for me, so it made my biggest disappointments.
Oh, Lara Croft Spider-Man couldn't do it for you.
Yeah, no.
Fair enough. Well, my number 3 is a game called Extinction. And the main reason it made it onto this list was because Extinction's about a game where at its soul there is these massive titans that come and try and destroy a town, try and take it over, and you've got to try and stop them. And you can hack and slash and get rid of all the little minions running around and destroy everything and go after it. And it all sounds quite cool. And the fact that this is this massive creature that you get to take down and you get to literally cut them limb from limb, it kind of all sounds pretty cool until you do it for the 25th time in a row. And it was just, it had such a cool premise, but gameplay broke it down, mechanics broke it down, and then just the repetitiveness of it. It was just frustrating. You know, the story was told really badly. It sort of had, instead of it being cutscenes or anything, they were just, you know, like a comic panel would flash up in the screen, and then you'd get, you know, something that was badly acted, spoken about, and it just everything kind of compacted on top of each other, and just left a bit of a bad taste, unfortunately. Yeah,
look, those comic book panels can work if they're done right. Like that game,
if they're done right, yeah.
Is it called Gravity? Is that what it's called?
Sure story.
Shift something? I don't know. Gravity Shift?
I'm not sure, mate.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's a PlayStation game. It was originally on the PlayStation Vita. They remastered it for the PlayStation 4, and then there was the sequel that came out. Editing Lucas coming to the rescue here of Live Lucas. The game that I was talking about was actually Gravity Rush. Well done. Back to the show. That had those panel-styled storyboards, which were actually really good. But then again, cool. It really does depend on the execution.
All right. Our top 2. Rem, round to you again.
I feel like my top 2 are going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Which is everything I haven't played this year. because I have a 2 under 2 for a majority of the time.
Yep.
It's been pretty full on. So unfortunately, there are a lot of games that I have not gotten to play, and yeah, that makes me sad. That makes me sadder than the other games.
That's fair enough. All right, well, Greg, you're number 2, mate.
All right. A legend that should never have been reborn. Shaq Fu, a legend reborn. Yep, that was released this year. And
Was it?
yeah, it's as terrible as you think it was.
It was bad? No, that couldn't have been bad.
Who would have
No.
thought?
Who would have thought? Yeah, no.
I simply don't believe you.
Well, by all means, you guys spend the money on it. Yeah, it's not too good now, is it?
It'll be a Games with Gold soon.
Maybe. As long as I look at, I'm not even sure Xbox could put it on Game Pass at this point.
Oh God, that good, eh?
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, you're number 2, mate.
My number 2 is, Radicus is not going to like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Far Cry 5. Rubbish. Absolutely destroyed by the fact that they completely changed the way that they made the game, where it was, instead of having an open world game with a linear story, they gave you free reign to go and do whatever mission, whatever boss, whatever, at any sort of pace. And I felt that it lacked direction because there wasn't one. And the bosses themselves, they were so pathetic in comparison with Far Cry games. For me, Far Cry games have out of this world amazing baddies.
Oh, yeah.
And
Definitely.
I didn't get that from any of the antagonists. Well, there was 4 in totals. There was the 3 siblings, and then there was that main priest guy. I don't even remember their names, and they were so lackluster. I was really waiting to get towards the end and find out some horrible twist that makes these people so bad, and it was just, they were just drug lords.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. So I was massively disappointed. The gameplay itself was very Far Cry, and I didn't find too much wrong with that. But Far Cry for me is not just gameplay. It's usually a very good story. You know, Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, they were brilliant.
They were phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys forgetting how Far Cry 3 ended?
No, what?
That was some seriously whacked out psychedelic bullshit.
Well, yeah, it was, but it all made sense. They've all been
kind of
like
fit
that.
in with everything, yeah.
Yeah, like going back to even Far Cry 2, I never played the first one, but Far Cry 2 had that malaria thing, and it was all whacked out because of the illness and the medication and all that sort of stuff. But it had amazing, really psychotic antagonists. But the ones in Far Cry 5 were just a massive letdown. So I don't like it. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying the story wasn't good. I'm just saying the ending was a bit poor in 3, that's all.
Oh, you thought the ending was poor, not just weird?
Yeah, no, it was poor. Like, so, you know, at the end, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't played it yet, but it's been a long time. So you get the choice to either kill your friends or save them, kind of thing, right? I just found that as a storyline, as a choice at the end, was really bizarre, because you spend the entire game trying to save your friends, and there seems to be no other reason that he would make this decision to turn on him at the end, except for the fact that this woman that you've barely spent any time with in the game just asks you to do so.
And she had her boobs out.
Okay, yes, but look,
she did.
They could be the best ever, but what you just went through really wasn't worth those. I'm just saying.
They were good boobs.
Yeah, but not like having to fight off that psycho
Voss.
I mean, and he has been the best bad guy quite some time.
And he wasn't even the main bad
He
guy. in that.
wasn't.
He wasn't even the main
Yeah.
bad guy. That's the best bit.
The twist. Oh, what a twist.
The twist. That was amazing. But it's just that bit I just found to sort of upset the whole sort of ending. But anyway, that's just me. We're talking about stuff that happened we're talking about 2018 here.
Yeah, that's all
Let's
right.
just move on.
Just a quick message to the people in the chat. How about you guys pay attention to the show that's going on here?
No, let him go. I'm trying not to laugh in the background.
I know.
Because they are getting massively off task. They're multitasking. All right, so they're looking at porn
Multitask.
and listening. All right, well, as long as you're listening.
Best game of rock, paper, scissors ever.
All right, my number 2 is Metal Gear Survive.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there.
You know what
That
they
That was
should have called
Konami
it?
saying, "We can do this without you, bro."
What-
Oh no, we can't.
No, we can't.
That game should have been called Gear Metal Survive. Just a cheap knockoff of what Metal Gear was.
Tencent. They should have got Tencent to make it.
Oh, that don't.
And that's the end of our podcast because Tencent's going to buy it out now.
Oh, good. Going price is $8 million.
Yeah. It's going. I don't know. I don't understand where Metal Gear Survive went wrong. All I know is that it went off the radar very, very quickly. It sort of come on with a fire of hatred from a lot of people and then really just disappeared. But yeah, I guess my number 2 spot this year.
Yeah, number 2, the shit one.
Yes, for biggest disappointments anyway.
All
All right, coming back around. Rem, you're number 1 still. All the games you're trying to get your hands on. Have you got anything particular that you didn't get to play this year that you're really aching to crack on with?
That's all I can say. There are way too many. I don't think I can pick one.
Ah,
Though
fair
maybe I
enough.
should give a nod to Merge Play. That thing spread like a virus through our podcast.
It did. It's even infected the in-laws.
Yeah, excellent.
All righty. Grejio, your number 1 biggest disappointment for 2018.
Funnily enough, it was Metal Gear Survive.
There you go. Lucas.
All right, my number 1 biggest disappointment for 2018, Metal Gear Survive. I am not even kidding. That is right there in front of me on my list. That game was the biggest piece of rubbish to come out of anything to do with Metal Gear. It was an embarrassment to the franchise and just an abomination. You said that Tencent should have made it. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I think that's about how much profit it made. Tencent.
Yeah.
You reckon it got to profit status?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure it did.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not. Well, my number 1's nice and quick because I actually went into this with an open mind and was really expecting a whole lot more, but it's Fallout 76.
Oh, well. They tried.
I'm still holding on to a glimmer of hope. Like I wrote in the review that it is a good basis for something, but it needs to grow.
Yeah.
And I just really hope that there's some people in charge that will make it grow and then allow it to as well. So who knows? But at the moment, it's a bit of a letdown.
But the problem is with games like that, where these developers need to realize that you can't release a game like that and then make it good 12 months later because the game's already been slammed. Nobody's going to care. It's the exact same thing happened with No Man's Sky. It's a pretty decent game now, but it's dead.
Yeah, it's going the way of No Man's Sky and Destiny. I think it's probably got I think it's got more of a Destiny trajectory than No Man's Sky, just because of the name behind it. But yeah, by the time they finally get it good, their main player base, the people that they really want playing this game, are going to be disenfranchised with it.
Yeah, it's just going to end up being, and it's something because there's the ability to troll to some extent, and predominantly being, over time they're going to change the the PvP aspect, and then you've also got the nukes. That's all it's going to turn into. You know, ESO is this great big world where everyone's friendly, everyone's wanting to help each other. I don't see that happening in Fallout. It's just a completely different type of game. It's not that, you know, that fantasy sort of style. It is out there to annoy and destroy everyone.
Look, I'm going to say this to all the devs right now. There is no excuse to make a multiplayer game where trolling is an issue in your game.
Yeah.
Destiny's proved that. Destiny is a online multiplayer all the time game, and they've created a game in which it's impossible to troll, or it's really hard, and the slight instances of it happening are so minute it doesn't affect the game itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, PvP has no place in PvE.
Yes.
I mean,
it's got its place, but it needs to have its designated place, i.e. the Dark Zone.
Oh, well, that's completely different to what I'm talking about. That's a different, like, it's not. I mean, there's got to be a separation between PvE and PvP.
Yep.
If there's PvE in the PvP, that's fine, but there needs to be a dedicated PvE area where you can go and do your thing with your mates and not worry about other people destroying your fun. And if that's what you want that ability to be attacked, then then like in Division, you go to the Dark Zone and you can have that interaction. But if you don't want that, you stay outside of the Dark Zone. Happy days. Very good.
Bit of a quiet word on the Dark Zone. The old meta works better than the new meta. Anyway, before we jump into our mentions, welcome as well, Skrill. Welcome to the lunacy that's going on in there. I'll let you scroll back through it and have a squiz. All right, guys, our honourable mentions. So the way that I looked at this stuff, it was 5 that didn't quite make it into the top 10 or didn't sort of fit into that criteria of the top 10. So, again, Rem, number 5.
Number 5. I'm going to put in Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Now, obviously, this isn't a new game, but that's why it doesn't fit the criteria.
Yep.
I love that they've brought Spyro back because Spyro was such a great game. It's one of these games that obviously hits the nostalgia, but they've done it really well when they brought it back. It's beautiful. They've not made it ridiculous. They haven't tried to reinvent the wheel. They've just brought the game back. So, yeah, I'm going to give an honourable mention to Spyro Reignited Trilogy because I think they've done a fantastic job with it.
Very good. I haven't played that. I never played any of the Spyros.
Yeah, see, I never played Spyro originally, so.
Such a good game, but I'm not sure you could really get into it now. Yeah. It's only because I played it under the age of 10. That's probably quite.
I haven't thought about getting it for the girls, but I'll leave it for a little bit. Grejio, you're number 5, mate, in honourable mentions.
So mine is actually a mobile game that I played earlier in the year called Colorblind. I thought it was a really cool little platformer. It played with some really unique ideas. It was the one where you play as a little eyeball, and you play.
I remember you telling us about that.
Yeah, the little male eyeball. It's colorblind, and he loses his girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
The other eyeball,
yes.
which it has perfect vision of color, and so you're having to collect different colors to be able to see them, and that changes the platforming landscape. So you can essentially you trying to remove and add things to the landscape to try and get through the levels to try and save your eyeball girlfriend. And it had a few eye puns, which I don't remember, but they were kind of cute and cheesy at the same time. So, yeah.
Awesome. Lucas, number 5.
My number 5 honourable mention is Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridion.
Very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool game. Look, I knew nothing of Adventure Time going into that game, and I was playing it, and it was pretty fun. It was interesting. The jokes were funny. The characters were cool. I recognised the voices. And the day that I first started playing it, my daughter came home, and then she walked in and saw it on the TV and went, "Oh, Adventure Time!" She knew all about it, so she sat with me and told me all about things. She was teaching me what was what, who was who. She's like, "Oh, have you met this person yet?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've just got a mission to help out that guy, that Ice King or whatever his name was." And I enjoyed the game. It's a very, very good adaptation of a TV show. I don't know much about the TV show, as I said, but it looks and plays very similarly to what the show looks like. And I thought it was very worth an honourable mention.
Awesome. Well, guess what, mate?
Yours is
That's
the
my
same?
number 5 as well.
Hey! Yeah, decent game. There you go.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And I am a fan of the TV show. And to be able to bring the show to life in that sort of aspect where when you're in control of it, and just, you know, the jokes were all there, the art style was there, it kind of made you feel like you were in Adventure Time.
Yeah, and what Skrill said here, he watched the show once with his nephew, and those creators must have been high as F when they made Adventure Time. And yeah, it's bizarre as hell, but funny and good and entertaining.
It's awesome. It's always great. That's why you have a few drinks while you're watching it. Rem, back around to you for number 4.
Number 4 is going to fit in the same category as number 5, and that's the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Again, all the same reasons as Spyro. I think it's done well. I think it's amazing. Again, another game that I played a lot back in the day, PS1 days. And yeah, I totally agree with Radicus in the chat. We need Croc Remaster as well. Can we please bring that around? That was a great game as well.
All these little bloody creatures running around everywhere.
I know.
At least, yeah.
So good.
No. Grejio, you're number 4.
My number 4 is Bridge Constructor Portal. So it falls out of the category because it was released in December last year. But we started playing it just after, obviously, the final show last year. So, but I think even you, Snoogs, I know everyone else has played. Did you end up playing as well?
Me, I played a ton of it.
Yeah. So we all played. Yeah.
Yep.
So we've all played the shit out of this game, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. So I think it's well and truly worthy of a note. So.
Good call.
All right, Lucas, number 4.
Number 4 for me is A Way Out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's that forced co-op game.
Yeah.
Although,
Rem and I were talking about this. We were surprised it didn't get more of a look in at the Game Awards.
Yeah, it's surprising. It was good. Look, Snoogs and I played it, but we still haven't actually finished it. But what we did play was good. But we probably
we sat on the couch together playing it, and it was not bad at all.
Yeah, I think we would have got most of the way through it. We really do need to make an effort to get that finished because it was good, and it was an interesting new take on a game, you know, and it's. Also revolutionary, where if one person owns the game, the other person can play too, but without owning it, which was really cool. And you can play it online, or you can play it couch co-op as well. Yeah. So yeah, I really thought that game needed an honourable mention because it was something different that worked.
Exactly. All right, well, my number 4 is Fortnite. Because any game that is free, that can get me to pay for it, and then have enough to keep me enthralled for 6 seasons, there's something there.
Yeah, fair enough. Grow up, Snoogs, says Radicus.
You know, like we've had a lot of fun playing it. We've all had a crack of it together. I've played a lot with many different people throughout the age community, and also meeting other people online that play it quite a lot. And it just always seemed to be a good, fun environment. It's frustrating because of the amount of kids that are on it, but it's a fun environment. And for, like I said, for one that I actually paid money towards, a free game to get the battle pass, and then to keep playing it enough to go back and get the V-Bucks and continue getting the battle pass for 6 seasons, then yeah, it wins me over.
No, look, I agree with you. Fortnite was an amazing game. I enjoyed it. It sort of wore off on me because I played so much of it. I move on quite quickly when it comes to games. And but I've got to say, for an online game which totes microtransactions and all of that sort of stuff, it was very friendly with the microtransactions because you'd never really ever felt forced to buy anything. But it would just enhance your experience. And there was a lot of things that you could still achieve without paying a cent. I think it was handled really well. I think it was a really fun game. It was nice and responsive. It was a good Battlegrounds game. And good call. Good call.
All right, Rem, on to your number 3.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, my number 3 is going to be Fortnite.
Nice.
And, for all the reasons you guys said, while I didn't play it as much as you guys did, and I don't think I could have played it as much as Snoogs played it.
I played it way too much, yep.
I mean, yes, this is a great game. It's built upon a foundation that's obviously proven successful, while making it a little bit more fun. But for the sheer impact of this game, like, it's incredible the culture that's been created around this game. Just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I had to put on my honourables for exactly that.
Awesome. Grejio, number 3.
The Witness.
Mm.
The Witness.
Yeah,
nice.
The puzzle game.
I hated that game. If anything ever made me feel dumb, that game did.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed the challenge, and yeah, I liked the puzzles. I liked nutting them out. It was really good. It was one of those like, there's a lot of times, and essentially I put most of my computer games in this category. They're designed to I play with my brain switched off. This one, the complete opposite. Yeah, have to switch your brain on to play it, and I really enjoyed that differing point right there. It was challenging. It didn't hold your hand, which was another thing I liked about it. It was challenging. It didn't hold your hand. It didn't apologize for it, but at the same time, it still gave you a path in which to learn things at a progressive rate.
Can you tell me
if you worked out? Yeah.
What exactly is it that you witness?
It's the experience of the whole thing. Like, that is what you're witnessing, essentially.
Do you ever have to give evidence in court?
No, you don't.
Oh.
And you don't. And not
to point
against
to where he touched you.
No, you don't even have to talk about a cop killing another person and then hide in the Amish community. You don't have to do that either. None of that. You don't get to meet Harrison Ford or anything.
Oh, right, gotcha.
So it's all good. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was expecting when I saw it. I'm like, oh, The Witness. I'll play that. I get to see Harrison Ford and whatever her name is that plays alongside him. Yeah, she,
Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yep.
But yeah, I got a puzzle game instead and was delightfully pleased. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Nice. Lucas, your number 3, mate.
My number 3 is Street Fighter, the 30th Anniversary Collection.
Very cool.
Because that was an amazing little collection. I liked all the extras that it gave. The games played like they did back in the day, and it looked nice. It was just all things. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just Street Fighter games, and you got to pick your favourite one out of the bunch and play that more than the others, or go and play them all. I just thought it was a great collection. Not a lot of collections get it right, but that Street Fighter 30th Anniversary nailed it.
Indeed.
Beautiful. Well, my number 3 is Destiny Forsaken. For the exact opposite reasons of Warmind and Curse of Osiris. So Destiny 2 Forsaken, once it came out, there was a lot of people touting that it was, going to fix Destiny. And in a way it did. It didn't fix it enough. I'd already been burnt, so much so that I didn't want to go and buy the season pass for season 2 or 3 or whatever the hell it's classified as now. But it's fixed it enough that, still probably once or twice a week I'll jump on and just go and run around and shoot stuff.
Okay,
Plus the story was cool, except for Cade.
Never played it. Radicus in his little gift there. I like it. Oh dear, that's good.
Oh, right. Okay, it's just played for me now. Yep, thanks, Radicus.
Great.
Rem, number 2.
Number 2. So while this isn't a new release either, this is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. And, yes, it was released ago, but it had its release on Xbox this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason why I want an honourable mention is because of, I guess, the impact that this game has had. While I guess some of it could be negative, there's also been a lot of positive in the awareness that's come out of it. And the fundraising that was done on its release to Xbox was incredible.
Yeah, that was massive, yeah.
Yeah, huge. And I think that's absolutely stunning. The game itself is, creepy and great, but it's awesome to see that this has had the impact that it has beyond gaming itself.
Well,
And now it's on Game Pass this month.
Oh,
Yay!
Yep.
Hellblade was almost on my list, but it didn't make it because it's not from this year. But I almost thought about putting on it. I mean, I guess honourable mention, the rules are a little bit looser than Game of the Year, but I was going to, because although I didn't really like it, the reasons why I didn't like it weren't really because it was a bad game.
No.
But it just had a tone in the game that just didn't feel right with me. I didn't like it for that reason.
It's not a comfortable game at all.
I felt like if you'd taken, for a little bit about the gameplay, if they'd taken some of the puzzle aspects out of it, I probably would have enjoyed it more. Those puzzles I felt were a little bit shit.
They were there for the sake of being there.
Yeah, we want to make this a little bit more interactive, so let's make you do this. And some of them were actually really ridiculous, and I had to look up how to do them. Blame me, whatever, blame the game. But for those reasons that, I didn't like it, but I was going to still give it an honourable mention, but it didn't make it.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Grejio, number 2.
So I'm going to stretch the rules here a little bit further on this one, but I think it's well worth it. I'm giving my number 2 spot to the Xbox Adaptive Controller. I figure it deserves a mention. I know it's not a game, but I think it deserves an honorable mention for 2018.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Well, look, this section's actually just called honorable mentions. It doesn't say anything about video games.
That's why, I like to look between the rules and I fight through it. But I think it's a big deserver. So.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
It's had a huge
100%.
impact. Yeah.
Yep.
Lucas, your number 2.
My number 2 is Red Faction Remastered. It wasn't exactly the turd that the name would kind of suggest, but Red Faction was an amazing game back in the day, and it was a remastered version that came out. Got an honourable mention because it is a remaster, but I thought it was a really good remaster, and the game is absolutely brilliant. Go on, Radicus. God.
All right. My number 2 is... You just read the one above it, didn't you? Yeah. My number 2 is A Way Out. For all the stuff that you said before, Lucas.
Yeah, it's very good.
Rem, number 1, honourable mention.
Oh, this is coming back around again. This is Bridge Constructor Portal.
Nice.
Oh,
We
man.
obviously have very similar tastes here.
We've all just
Yes.
co-
Who would've thunk it?
copying each other's homework, man. We would have got
Oh.
minus marks in high school for this assignment.
Well, it would have been if you guys are going to copy each other, you should at least do it well.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Awesome.
Remutha,
Greg.
Snoogs, Grejio, Lucas, come and see me after
It's in the
class. We need to talk.
Well, I know my number one is definitely not on anyone else's list.
It's merge planes.
No, it's not. Some people might think it's in the same vein, though.
Oh, God.
Farming Simulator 15.
Oh!
Why, you ask? Because that is probably the most fun I've had with the four of us online all year. Just dicking around. Like, we were trying to seriously farm, but we were so terrible.
We made no money at all.
Hang on.
We spent
hang on.
hours making no money.
You, Greg, were seriously trying to farm. I remember just getting reprimanded for cutting down trees and blocking the roads.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
I got reprimanded for driving a tractor through a field.
I'm trying to
It's a tractor. You're supposed to plow with it. It's already been plowed.
Oh my god. Okay, that's fair. We did have a good time, but yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
Indeed.
my tree
Lucas,
chopping
you're number
skills
one.
are to be whatever. What am I
Yeah.
after? What do we want? Number
You're number one.
Number one.
number one. My number one honorable mention is Shadow of the Colossus remaster. Another remaster.
Very good.
Yeah, look, Shadow of the Colossus, I did play that originally on the PS3 when we got Shadow of the Colossus, the HD remaster, so the first remaster, from the PS2 game, and really enjoyed it. And playing it again on the PS4 was an absolute mind blow. It was such a good remaster, such a good game, really enjoyed it. And that's a game that it's quite hard to recommend because it depends on the kind of games that you'll enjoy, because it's got a real heartfelt story in there, but it doesn't actually ever tell any story. There's no dialogue, there's no anything, there's no cutscenes that will explain anything, but it all comes together right at the end. If you don't finish the game, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's kind of like, oh, why am I killing all of these majestic beasts for no reason? And then right at the end, it's like a big clencher, like, oh my god, that all makes sense. Not going to spoil it because people need to play it if they haven't. Really cool.
Alrighty. My number one is the Street Fighter collection.
Very good. Somebody else is copying my homework.
Oh, copying the homework. Now, the reason it got the number one for the honorable mentions, yes, it's a fantastic little collection. It brings back all those memories of playing Street Fighter as a kid, and now you can actually save your progress, train, all that sort of stuff. But ridiculous, the Let's Play that Grejio and I did, that was awesome fun. Sitting in the same room, playing around with it together. We're supposed to be doing a Let's Play, talking, telling everyone what the game is about, and then it goes quiet, and all you hear is because we're both ridiculously competitive. Yeah. So it's a fantastic little collection, and great time making a Let's Play for it. So it's one of those standouts and had to be in there.
Awesome.
Sweet. Alrighty. Well, guys, it's now that time of the show to go on to the big one, the Game of the Year Awards. So, number 10. Rem, we'll keep going the same way.
Mhm.
The top 10 for your Game of the Year.
Top 10 for Game of the Year. So number 10 for me is We Happy Few.
No.
Finally making it through. I mean, yeah, this game is compelling, and while it does have its issues, it feels fresher than a lot of games have been for a while. It's felt like they've tried to sit outside the box a little bit more and challenge the way that games are played. And obviously that's come with some difficulties in getting the game through, but it's visually very appealing. The gameplay is pretty solid. The themes are hard hitting, while also, I guess, being playful around those things. But yeah, I mean, all around, I think it's been a really good game, and I'm so glad that it finally got approved in Australia.
Finally got here, eh?
Finally.
I reckon We Happy Few is the Fallout that we should have got this year. It was just pretend that's Fallout.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, it went the same way with other Fallouts. It got banned first.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It kind of works.
Same reasons, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Grejio, you're number 10, mate.
All right. So my number 10, it would have been a lot higher, but unfortunately, I was kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel to make 10 this year. So I put this in, even though it's technically a remaster. I put Street Fighter 30th Anniversary in there at my number 10 spot. It would have been, I worked it out. If I could count it as a new release, it probably would have been number 5. But yeah, look, I think they did a marvelous job putting this together. The fan service was really good. I remember all the little tweaky, small things that just look.
Spinning is the loader.
Yep. And then what was the other thing we put at the end of that Let's Play that I just said we had to put that in because that was really good? Oh, it was the logo at the beginning. Sorry, the 30th anniversary logo with Ryu doing that uppercut. That looked on point too. But yeah, all the fan service and the fact that they tidied up those games to play so well and saving your progress. And yeah, look, it was just.
Playing on a standard Xbox, it looks stunning, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, granted, it only took up a quarter of your monitor, but still, that's the life of, resolution. But you can't get away with that unless you redo the graphics, and then you're probably taking away from the game. So, yeah, look, I really enjoyed it. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. Lucas.
My number 10 is Scum on the PC.
Scum?
Ooh,
yeah.
Scum.
Yeah,
Oh,
Scum.
really?
Scum's a brilliant game. Considering it's in beta, I don't know if that was part of the rules, but whatever. It's probably the best early access game that I have played. It's still missing a lot of things, but there's a lot in there, and the game really works still, even though in early access. It's a great survival game on PC. Loved it. Scum.
Brilliant. I've only played one game of it, and I didn't actually get through the round. I had to go and do something, but I enjoyed what I played. All right, my number 10 is South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Because I'm a sick bastard, really. I love South Park. I love the humor. I giggled at way too much of that game and just enjoyed it. Something that can make me laugh that much. I'll take it every day of the week, thanks. There's nothing overly special over it, especially compared to, Stick of Truth, but I enjoyed it, so that's good. Alrighty. Yep. Rem. Number 9.
Ooh. So in my number 9 is Sea of Thieves. Now I'm talking PvE.
Beautiful.
Because for all the reasons that you mentioned before, Lucas, like the treasure maps and the whole exploration and sailing around with mates. Yes, they spent way too much time designing one boat, but overall,
and the
concept,
water.
Yeah, the water is fucking worth it. It's a gorgeous game. It's a great styling. It is fun when you don't have trolls, and I do like the amount of, I guess, shared responsibility that there is in getting a ship around, especially if you've got a crew of 4. It's, everyone's got their roles, everyone works together, and the more you do it, the better you get, the more fun the whole experience becomes. Always one person who's going to hit treasure every time, Snoogs, and then there's that one person who's never going to hit it.
I could just read a map, that's all.
Yeah, you're very good. Tick every time. That's all right. It's all right. I can find chicken, so I'm all right.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's a solid game. I just, it wins number 9 for me.
Awesome. Greg, number 9, mate.
Sea of Thieves beta.
Yeah, the beta was great. I loved the beta.
To be fair, that was the most fun I had in that game. Mainly because like there wasn't any it was all too new for griefers to be there. And look, we had once again, it was another one of those times when we played together, it was really fun. Like me firing myself out of a cannon while playing Flight of the Valkyries on that harpsichord thing. That and then like smashing into a rock, like to the other side. That sold me on the game right there and then. I was really skeptical about this game. Everyone's banging on about it, how good it's going to be. I'm like, no. And then the moment I did that, I was like, all right, that was enough to get me to sign up for Game Pass. Like right there, I just went, all right, Game Pass, let's get on Sea of Thieves.
Done.
You know what they should have done is they should have released the NDA for the beta and then had an NDA for the full release.
All right, Luke, number 9.
Number 9 for me is a PlayStation VR game.
Mm-hmm.
Moss.
Little Moss.
An amazing game.
I won't lie. I was a little disappointed it got runner-up at Games Awards. So
yeah, no, it is a very good game. Look, it's not a traditional VR game, as in like a first-person thing or anything like that. But the whole over-the-top, godlike perspective just gave new life to a simple platformer with beautiful graphics, cute characters, and a simple story that was nice. It was just a good game. I liked it.
My number 9. It's a bit of a weird one, actually, and not something I thought I would have been putting on here. Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Oh, did you play that?
I've owned it for a grand total of about 2 weeks.
Oh, did you take it back?
No.
Oh.
No. I bought it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you mean you still have it?
Yes, I still have it.
I thought you meant you had it for 2 weeks and then canned it.
No. I only got it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's good enough, and it's got its claws in to be that much that it's taken me way away from Red Dead Online.
I've heard the multiplayer's okay, but the story is shit house.
Yeah, the story doesn't exist, but
the campaign.
yeah, the I like the battle royale type games. I've really enjoyed that sort of mode, and I've tried most of the free ones that are on Steam. Anything that's got that sort of battle royale feel. The Blackout side of it, as well as it sort of being not really tactical, but you need to be tactical for it. So you get a lot of people that will just run around and go nuts and try and run and shoot and run and gun like you do in multiplayer, and it just doesn't work in the Blackout side of it. So someone like me who's not really crash hot at the run and gun, though I don't do too badly, come across the Blackout, and so far I've been doing really well. So still haven't won one yet, but I've been playing quite a bit. A lot of people that I've teamed up with have all been really awesome. Saturday night just gone, every lobby that I dropped in, everyone had a mic and everyone was hysterical. It was just brilliant. We're all having a drink, laughing, making jokes. It's just been a really good experience so far.
Nice.
Plus it looks fantastic and it runs beautifully. So that's always a bonus.
Yes.
All right, Rem, on to number 8.
Number 8 for me, Detroit Become Human. I mean, obviously the game it looks great. We all felt very positive about this game at the previous year's EB Expo. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied. But yeah, I mean, while the story still had some issues, again, this is, it's such a massive improvement on heavy rain days. And
Yes.
the characters had me feeling a lot more for them than probably any of the characters in Heavy Rain, excepting maybe for the father, because that was brutal. But yeah, like it was really well done. I thought I enjoyed, I guess, the moral choices that you had to make throughout the game, and I enjoyed learning more about this world of these, I guess, cyber humans. Yeah, I mean, what's not good about this game? Really, it was really good.
There's plenty to talk about with it. Yeah.
Mm.
Alrighty. Greg, number 8.
Number 8, God of War.
It made it.
It did.
I didn't think it was going to make your list.
Yeah, look, what can I say? Look, for all the things that I found fault with that game, there were still things that, I liked about it. It just wasn't enough to hold me, but I still think it deserves to be on the list. It is beautiful. I won't deny that. The story, what I saw of it, like I said, it didn't grab me, but from what I've heard of the rest of the story, it sounded like a really good story, and I probably would have enjoyed it if I could have stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were a few little glitchy things that just, for me, I was probably ultra hard on the game. I don't know why I was, but I was, and when I saw those things, it was enough to break it for me. I'm not going to apologize for it, because that's just where I was at the time, and I made that decision. But yeah, I still, regardless of what I think about it, I still think it deserves to be on the list. So I put it at my number 8.
If you don't know why, I can offer you a couple of reasons. Well, I'll give you one. You jackass!
I'll let you have that one. I knew it was coming, but it's just like, yeah, sure.
All right, Lucas, your number 8, mate.
My number 8 is Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah. Now, look, it's probably not something. It wasn't a big, massive title that a lot of people would have played. Well, in my sort of circle of friends, anyway. But it's not a game that I should be liking. I should, by all accounts, dislike this game with a passion, because it ticks all the boxes that I usually dislike. But I loved it, and I really enjoyed the first one, and I enjoyed Ni no Kuni 2. It's a brilliant game. It's a beautiful game. It plays well, and it's good fun to play. So that's my number, whatever we're up to.
Number 8. All right, my number 8 is Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sea of Thieves. Has anyone actually jumped into it recently?
No.
Not since Rowboats.
Yeah. It just keeps getting better.
Oh yeah.
So
no doubt.
I haven't spent time in it, like to give a complete and utter rundown for like to give you an update on everything that's changed and happened. The time that I have played, the griefing seems to be less. My level of annoyance I can still do, which is always a bonus. And just in general, everything seems to have tightened up. It's sort of growing into a really, really good release, which is good. It's sort of, I think it's getting where it should have been in January.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So awesome. All right. Well, Rem, number 7.
Number 7. This is where God of War sits for me.
Awesome.
So I think, obviously, my opinion of God of War was slightly more positive than Grejio's. But also, Christopher Judge was absolutely stunning in that role, and long-time fan over here. But perfect casting. But yeah, no, gorgeous game. I really enjoyed seeing that fatherly side of Kratos being challenged, and watching that relationship grow was probably the best part of that game for me. So yeah, for all the reasons everyone would say, the game is gorgeous. It plays well, but for me, it's the storytelling, the narrative, and the relationship that comes in that is why it sits on this list for me.
Awesome. Greg, number 7.
South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Nice.
Once again, it was one of those games that I was a little bit disappointed with. Like, I don't think it's stacked up to the first game. But I still had. It still made me giggle. There were times where I sit there and go, "That's just bloody wrong." And clearly, I'm more wrong than you because it's higher up on my list than you. So, look, while I don't think it hit the mark on the first one, it was still definitely fun, and it was still very South Park. So if you enjoy that kind of humor, it's still one of those games you probably should have a go at. So
could have a crack. Exactly. Lucas, number 7.
My number 7 is State of Decay 2. So you can eat a dick with your dishonorable mention shit. State of Decay 2 is a bloody good game, and I didn't have over expectations because I knew where it was coming from, and I enjoyed the first one, and I absolutely loved the second one. So that's made my bloody game of the year list.
Awesome. As long as it's there somewhere. Mine was on a list, just not a preferred list. My number 7 is Forza Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a car game. I don't get as involved in it as yourself, Greg. I just enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing it with us. Unfortunately, we seem to always find connection issues.
Yeah.
Whenever we tried to jump on together, which was a shame.
Yep.
But overall, the game itself, I probably haven't played as much of it as I did 3. But again, it's on my Xbox. Every now and again, I just turn it on and jump in and go for a cruise. So it makes my number 7 for this year.
Cool.
Plus, it's lots of fun too.
Yeah.
Rem, number 6.
Number 6. Unravel 2.
Unravel 2?
Oh, yeah. I wanted that, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, It's cute. That game is gorgeous. I've played this a fair bit with my 4-year-old, and he's obsessed about it, absolutely obsessed about it. I love the way that they've taken this lovable little character from the first one, and they've created more personality, and then they've created relationship, and the co-op in this is done so well. I think we talked about this even when the beta came out for it, that the demo came out for it, that Greg and I were saying, this would be a perfect game for speedrunning and things like that. It practiced well enough, this game could be an amazing speedrun game. But all that aside, it's very enticing, it's very cute, it's very lovable. And yeah, that sits on my list.
Awesome. Greg, number 6.
I swear we haven't copied each other, but Unravel 2. I'm not much for cutesy games. Then I'm not really a cutesy dude. But this game was incredibly charming, and I have to agree, the characters are cute and they're lovable, and it's hard not to love them. So it won me over. So therefore, a cutesy game won me over. It definitely deserves to be on the list. So.
Very cool. Lucas, number 6.
My number 6 is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Yay!
I got that game.
Eevee?
No, we got Pikachu. I didn't know which one to get because I like Eevee. I like Pikachu. So I put a thing on Twitter asking people, and everyone said Pikachu for sure. So I got the Pikachu one, and I got the little Pokemon Ball plus ball, that little thing to play it with. And
Eevee's trapped inside. Yeah.
Well, no, it actually came with Mew inside. You get Mew with it.
Oh, I
apparently,
didn't think anything was inside. I don't know what you're talking about. I was just taking a piss, but all right.
Yeah, no, if you buy that, it comes with Mew inside. I think that's the only way to get Mew. I'm not sure if that's correct. Skrill, have I finished it? No, I haven't finished it yet. I've only been playing it the last couple of days, but it is a beautiful game and I'm loving it. It's very reminiscent of the first original Pokemon Red and Blue. And from what I've seen, it's only got the original 150 Pokemon in there. And
nice.
That hits home with me because they're the Pokemon that I know. I don't really know any of the super new ones. Radicus, I'm old enough to enjoy video games. That's how old I am. Shut up.
He's younger than you. That's all that matters.
That's exactly right. But yeah, you can once you finish playing for the night, you transfer one of your Pokemon into the Pokeball. And then if you carry the Pokeball around with you, it counts your steps and gives you XP. So you can level up your Pokemon when you're not playing the game using the Pokeball. So it's really cool.
So Pokemon Go still owns you, is what you're saying?
A little bit. It actually.
I don't know what I find so amusing about that, but you carrying a Pokeball around with you is pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been carrying it everywhere. But the annoying thing is though, you put it in your pocket, but randomly it'll just go Pikachu.
Yes,
that's worth it.
And you're around other people, and you're that's my message tone. My daughter must have just messaged me.
Shut up, Pikachu.
I promise.
And there's me smacking my pocket. Shut up, man. And then it goes, and because you hit it, it goes. You're like, oh, shit.
I can just see how well that goes down at work for you.
That's all I'm thinking here.
Yeah,
give it to my 4-year-old. It'll work up
just
next
at work.
for you.
I can tell you some stories after the show, but it was. But in three nights, I came home and put Pikachu back into the game with 9,000 XP, and I went up
nice.
12 levels.
Awesome,
so cool. But yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. It is a fully fledged Pokemon game for a console. They've never done it before. It's all been handheld, so I love it. It's on my list.
That's great. Awesome.
My number 6 is Moss.
Moss.
They are. And it sits in the number 6 spot.
Sorry.
Yeah, catching up in the chat there.
Moss sits in the number 6 spot for me off the demo. I still haven't played the full game.
Oh.
And the demo has stuck with me for 10, 11 months now. That it was first released. I still have the demo on my PlayStation. I've still played through the demo a couple of times, and I really should just go and buy the full game. But it's just I loved the interaction. I loved how you interacted with this little creature. I just found it borderline magical how they did it. So brilliant for me. All right. Top 5, guys. Rem, do you want to kick us off into the top 5?
You're going to like this one. So for me, my number 5 is actually a mobile game.
Oh.
Yeah. And that is the Friday the 13th mobile game.
Do you know it's on the Switch now?
Oh, really?
Is it?
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. So yeah, this is good. This takes all the creepiness of the Friday 13th game and puts it into a puzzle that you can carry around on your mobile and get addicted to, as Snoogs has done.
Yes, I finished all the free-to-play, and then I bought the license and finished all of them as well.
Nice work.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So completely done. The game's done, dusted, finished. Goodbye. Get it out of here before I go and play it all again.
Merge Planes all over again.
Yes.
No, Merge Planes doesn't end.
Oh, yeah, well.
Just keeps on going. Grejio, number 5.
My number 5, Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Yeah, look, it was. Look, I walked in expecting a sort of clone of Batman, and that's exactly what I got, essentially. So it was kind of paint by numbers from there on in. Look, it's a solid game. It's a good game. I can't really fault it. So yeah, I put it at number 5.
Awesome. Lucas, number 5, mate.
My number 5 is Forza Horizon 4.
Nice work.
Very cool.
Not much to say. It's a car game, and it's probably the best one that I'll ever play. Now, I really don't like any other games because of Forza Horizon 4. It just hits everything that I would find interesting in a car game. I don't like going over the top with sim, but then crazy, stupid, arcadey stuff isn't really my thing either. Forza Horizon 4 is like a perfect mix of everything, and I felt the same way about 3 as well. So for me, I think the only car games that I'll play going forward will be Forza Horizon, unless something else comes out that is absolutely astonishing. But yeah, Forza Horizon 4, brilliant game.
Awesome. My number 5, Lucas, for this one, you can go and eat a dick. Far Cry 5.
Another one? I'm getting full.
So Far Cry 5, yes, it had all its problems. Yes, it was a takeaway from previous Far Cry titles. And let's be honest, coming up against a Pagan Min or a Vas Montenegro, they're kind of, you just don't see them. You don't see those sorts of characters very often. And the fact that there's been, a Far Cry series where you've had these two psychopaths, I think we went pretty lucky. The way that this one, the Far Cry 5 went, I did enjoy it. It got a bit long in the tooth in the end, but that just the whole story, the cult aspect, the fact that they've taken over this area, and it's once again, your job to go in and you automatically can fly planes and you're a master of every weapon that you pick up, and all those sorts of really far out things that are come accustomed to with Far Cry games. It had all that in spadefuls. So plus it had fishing.
As all good games should.
So fishing while there's people going past shooting each other in a car, brilliant. All right, Rem, number 4.
Number 4. For me, number 4 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Ooh.
So this is a
Very
fairly
cool.
low position for an Assassin's Creed game to sit for me.
Yes.
Not because it's not good, obviously, but just got beat out. But yeah, I loved this game. I absolutely loved this game. Taking on from the basis that Origin has made, which, yeah, you can debate whether this is an Assassin's game or not, but either way, it's a great game. They've taken a good foundation with all those changes, and they've just built on it and built on it and built on it, and it's gotten stronger, in my opinion. There's a lot of wit and fun in it. There's a lot more, I guess, freedom in how you're going to play it. And, the characters are very, very likable. Obviously, this is only the second game that's had a female option to play for the main games, but she has actually become the most popular character to play out of the two, which is nice because initially the story is about her. I can't fault the game, really. I really can't. It's fun. It has plenty of content in it, and I'm going to be playing this for a very, very long time to come.
Yeah, I believe the Game of the Year version is just going to be called Creed.
Yeah. Some Creed thing that we once did.
Isn't it that Creed thing that we'll once do? Like we'll eventually, there we go, we'll eventually do?
Yeah. The
Hang
creed
on
that will become assassins.
Assassins, we accidentally went too far in time that there's no Assassin's Creed. Whoopsie.
Just give me a hidden blade and I'm good.
Yes.
That's all I want.
Nothing like a bit of sneaky.
Exactly.
Grejio, number 4.
Number 4, Battlefield 5.
Awesome.
Yeah. The amount, the part that I've played of it, I haven't played a lot, but I've played enough of it. I really like it. It's solid. I think of the war shoot 'em ups at the moment. I mean, you can like the gun mechanics or you can not, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But everything else about it, it's story, gameplay, all that jazz. I think it's the most solid out there at the moment. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Awesome, sweet. All right, well, Luke, number 4, mate.
My number 4 is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh.
It made my list because it is a brilliant game, but it didn't go any further up the list because it annoyed the shit out of me too much.
Yep.
And look, for me, if you're going to be my number 1, you're going to have to be story, you're going to have to be gameplay, you're going to have to be graphics, you're going to have to be sound, you're going to have to be everything. And for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 faltered on a couple of those things. Didn't fail, but faltered.
It skipped.
Yeah.
A little
Had a few hiccups. So yeah, that's me. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Awesome. My number 4, Detroit Become Human. It's the story, the graphics, the feeling that you get. You get an emotional connection to these characters. You kind of get torn. I haven't played through my Deviant run as yet. I haven't finished that, but I started it off quite well. And you just have this open choice to do anything that you want, really. You can play it any way that you wish. And, with so many different options and so many different outcomes, I just thought it was brilliant the way to do it. And plus, just the way that the story between the 3 characters, it just really draws you into each and every one of the characters, and you want to do your best, unless you're going on that jerk run like I was. When you play through, you get more drawn. I found myself getting very drawn towards doing the best for my character and the best for what I thought to be for the situation, which was always a good start.
Yeah.
Yes, but when they said that if your character dies, they die and they're not coming back, I just want to call bullshit. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. He keeps coming back, even as much as I tried. Anyway. Rem. Number 3.
Number 3. Number 3 for me is Forza Horizon 4. For, again, all the same
Very
reasons
cool.
that have been said. It's a great game. It's accessible. It's fun. We've played this a few times online with a group of people, but it's just as fun to play solo. Again, my 4-year-old is addicted to this game and constantly is telling me now he wants a hovercraft and a train and a jet plane. And my wallet's hurting right now. So, yeah, awesome game. So, yeah, number 3 for me.
Awesome. Greg, your number 3, mate.
It's Detroit, actually.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, look, it's the new Heavy Rain. It's the game is the story is just good, and they've just refined the gameplay to something I think is just a little bit more fun to play than what Heavy Rain was. And the other bit is it doesn't have Jason in it, which was a really good step forward in my opinion.
Detroit lost, it lost
But,
points for that for me.
No red balloons.
No. Look, the clincher is that this is an amazing looking game, and when we played it this time, well, a little bit before this time last year at EB Expo, and Lucas said there was a moment there where the cutscene ended and he just stood there for a moment and he's like, "Oh, hang on, the game has started." That says a lot about the game, and I think it was an amazing feat for them this year. So.
Yeah, that was the bit at the start where Connor doesn't. The elevator doors open and he just stands there, and it's almost like that. I thought it was just like in real life when I'm the only person in the elevator and I fart, and then the doors open. Like, I might just
get out quick.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking, do I press the door and just close it and quickly go before somebody comes in? So I thought Connor was like
you close it and still bask in it, don't you?
Everyone loves their own brand. Yes.
All right, Lucas, you're number 3.
Detroit Become Human. It lost points because it doesn't have Jason and Sean called out over and over and over again, and I really was disappointed by the fact that you couldn't accidentally step on that fish.
Aww. And he tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tried hard.
I wanted it to be like Red Dead Redemption, when you step into the horse poo, it sort of splatters. I was kind of hoping the similar thing would happen with the poor little fishy.
Stepping on the fish.
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
Someone's having sushi tonight.
Grammies aren't very tasty, I'm just saying.
All right, my number 3 is Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh, number 3.
The reason it's not higher for me is somewhere in the middle it become painful.
Yep.
It didn't stay painful, but it got there, unfortunately. And it does all tie itself all together, and everything works in and all that sort of jazz. But the fact that at one stage I had to turn it off and put it aside, for it was only 2 or 3 days, but I just had to get away from it for a little while. It lost some spots for that, but the way that it ties itself together in the story, the way that it all finishes off, that's what brought it up this high. So
it's kind of like constipation. When you're starting off, you're like, "Oh, this is all right," and then it gets really sore in the middle. And then at the end, there's just big relief. Yeah, and then at the end, there's just a massive sense of relief.
I'm just glad it wasn't diarrhea for you. It's just been painful the whole time.
And then after you've finished and all that relief is there, you go to the multiplayer, and that's your hemorrhoids.
That's your regret. Yeah.
Pushing too hard. God.
All righty, we're well and truly at the business end. There we go. Try it in there as well. Rem, number 2.
Number 2.
I'm going to go sit on the toilet for this one.
Yeah. All right. Spider-Man.
Awesome.
Yeah. Spider-Man done well. This is a great game. Once again, they've paid a lot of attention to character development. They've done a really good story. They've given you plenty of content to play, but just getting lost in just swinging around the city and performing stunts as you flick yourself over the top of the tallest building you can find. It's fucking brilliant. As well as getting as low as you can over those cars and trying not to kill yourself.
Eat shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's the expression I was going for, yeah. All around awesome game. And I'm a little bit hooked.
Grejio, you're number 2, mate.
My number 2 is the number 2 of the night, RDR2.
Yes.
We can go on about how it was slow and grindy at the beginning, but to be fair, if we line it up against all of Rockstar's other games, that's kind of par for the course for them. yeah, this one was probably a little bit more so than normal, but we should have known. We should have known coming into it. So with that aside, I think the story was great. I think the game is beautiful. I think the gameplay, the controls took a little bit to get used to, yes, but the sound, the sight, the story, they were all there. So
very good.
Awesome. Fun story about Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
My wife walked in when I was playing one of the missions, and it was one later in the game. So there was lots and lots of bad guys around and having to go through them and shoot them.
Yep.
And my wife, pretty much her limit of gaming kind of stopped when things went analog with the controllers. So
Wow.
anything other than, Mario or Mortal Kombat, really, she just doesn't play. So she's like, okay, what do I do? So I told her what to do, and then it was painful to watch. And die. Oh, what happened? Honey, you're dead. Oh, that's not fair. Yeah, I know. That's what happens.
No, that's where you celebrate and go, the game's called Red Dead, honey. You did it. You won.
Yeah, you won.
You did well.
You're red. You're dead. Look, good work.
Yeah. So it was it was quite funny to watch. And by the end of it, she's like, "That's it, I'm done," and handed the controller back, and off she went.
All right, darling. I'll have the coffee and the dishes and washing.
Lucas, number 2.
Ooh, God of War.
God of War.
God of War's my number 2 game.
Wow.
So we all know what your number 1 is. That's
good. Or do you?
Or do we? Yes, we do.
Nah. Yeah, God of War. Brilliant game. That is how you reboot and change a game up. That was so good. I was a fan of the other God of Wars, but was a bit, all right, it was a good game. This one, loved it. That was an awesome game.
Sweet. Well, my number 2, Spider-Man.
Oh, so we know
we all know what your number 1 is.
Yeah, that's not really hard, then, is it?
But we knew that last week, so
should have known that. Spider-Man. What can you really say about Spider-Man? I've got the platinum. It is a game. I think it would have got the number 1 spot if Bruce Campbell had narrated part of it again. But it's just everything about it. They finally made a Spider-Man game.
Your man crush on that man is ridiculous.
It's brilliant, isn't it? They finally made a Spider-Man game that actually felt like Spider-Man. I think that was always one of the biggest problems. Like take some really terrible some of the really terrible elements away from the previous Spider-Man games, but you never actually felt like Spider-Man. It was never fluid. There was never that sort of movement that's really hard to come by with him. And I just feel they nailed it in this one.
Nailed it to the wall.
All righty. The big one. Number 1 for 2018. Rem. What have you got?
I mean, everyone's saying your ones are pretty obvious, but I think mine is.
Is it?
Red Dead Redemption 2 made number 1 for me.
Oh, you haven't said that yet.
Awesome.
I haven't. No. Yeah.
No.
Glad I'm paying attention.
Yeah. Good job, Lucas. Good job. I mean, yes, it can get very slow, but I don't really mind. I'm very happy playing this as slowly as I like. And to be honest, as much as I'm loving the story and I'm loving everything about it, it's like my Pokemon. I'm just collecting horses. And basically trying to find the best ones I can. And there's some pretty wicked horses out there. But yeah, the whole environment is so enjoyable to be within that I don't mind being there for a long time. And I have very limited gaming time, but I'm very, very happy to spend it right there with Arthur, just cruising out on the plains and trying not to die.
Brilliant. All righty. Well, Grejio, you're number 1.
I think we all know where this is going.
We do.
This had my favorite soundtrack of all games, and that was after I turned the radio off on the car. Look, I will not say that this is a perfect game. It wasn't. There were a few things that I thought fell a little flat. However, still the game I've played the most this year. Still one of my favorite games. It's Forza Horizon 4. Obviously, it was always going to be a strong contender. But yeah, it's beautiful. They've tried to add more to it from 3, and they have. And I think the things that they've done have been really cool and innovative. So what more can I say? I mean, nothing that hasn't already been said by you guys already. It's just, I love that game. That is my Pokemon. I get every single car, and I will. I did in the last one, and I'll do it again this time. So, yeah.
All right. Lucas, your number one for 2018, mate.
My number one game for 2018, Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Awesome.
No, that's bullshit. That's a good game. It's a very good game.
It's up there.
But my number one game is Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. That's all I know.
I think Rem actually knows more to that theme than you do, I think.
Oh, God, do I ever.
Probably, that's all I know. I know more to the Spider-Pig version.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's all that's playing in my head. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig.
Yes. Oh, Spider-Man gets my number one spot simply because it had story, it had gameplay, it had amazing graphics, it had feeling, it had just amazing everything. It, like you said, it was the first Spider-Man that felt like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a massive Spider-Man fan.
Like, you are now, though, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I can't wait. The Spider-Verse is coming out this week. I'm going. I've told my daughter, I said, you are coming because it's a cartoon. You're my excuse for a 35-year-old man going to see a cartoon. Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely Marvel's Spider-Man on the PS4. That's my game of the year.
Awesome. Well, it's no secret. My game of the year for 2018 is God of War.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it, hey? I'm exceptionally peeved that I haven't been able to get the bloody platinum yet. And solely because I've stopped playing it and then tried to go back, and I'm just slow. I'm just too slow now. After you put it down for a while.
Yep.
Yes, Radicus, it's because I'm just terrible at the game.
You're getting old. You're getting old, man.
Yeah, I know. It's shocking. I have the last trophy, which is the Valkyrie trophy, and then I have the platinum. But it had all those elements for me. I was a massive God of War fan through all of the previous games. I got to the same point as probably 90% of God of War fans got to in number 3, where I rage quit and just took me forever to go back and actually finish the game. And it's completely changed everything up. You know, graphically, I didn't have any of those, the glitches that you spoke about previously, Greg. I just loved it from start to finish. The story, the twists, the turns, and the bits of information that was with it, and the fact that it left it open as well. I really, really enjoyed it. So it gets my number one.
Very good.
Nice.
Brilliant. All right, guys. Well, those listening along with us, what do you think? What was your number ones for 2018? Make sure you leave us some details here, there, anywhere you find it, and let us know your thoughts. Now, guys, we've got one other to talk about this evening. This is going to be a bit of a long show, but being as that's the last one for 2018, it's allowed to be. We've got a most anticipated title for 2019. Rem, do you want to go first again?
Why not?
Why not?
So I'm pretty sure I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and it's a game that I pretty much geeked out over a little bit. We were watching E3. I was watching Lucas streaming, and when this came on, I was just absolutely losing my mind over how gorgeous this game is. And it's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Yes.
Yes, how gorgeous is this game?
Yeah, very good choice there. Hello, everybody. Editing Lucas here again, and I was just editing this portion of the show, and it just occurred to me, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, it doesn't sound right. I think it's actually Ghosts of Tsushima that I was thinking of when Rem said this. I just quickly messaged Rem and confirmed with her, yes, that was an error. The game we're actually talking about right now is Ghosts of Tsushima. The game by Sucker Punch, not Sekiro. Similar kind of style games, or not style games, similar settings, but different styles of game. Sekiro is the one that's from Software, which is very much like Dark Souls, and Ghosts of Tsushima is just a real beautiful, over-the-shoulder, third-person game set in Japan with all those awesome colours of the trees, cherry blossoms, etc. But there you go. Back to the show.
Oh, yeah. Like that, there's just one scene where they're fighting and the leaves are just swirling around them, and it is just divine. I'm sitting there going, oh my God, I need to play this game. Hurry up and bring it out.
Yeah, there'll be a must play. Absolute must play for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm very indifferent about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that's... You know what? I can appreciate that. I mean, if it's not a game genre that jumps at you, like it can be a pretty game. And to be fair, that's kind of why we're geeking out. Is we like the art style, like we like the art style, and we kind of like the time period, and it's a beautiful looking game. And when you got those elements and you watch a trailer, that's the thing that gets you hooked. So yeah, if it's not your kind of thing, I can understand why it wouldn't necessarily jump at you.
A little bit indifferent. I'll have a crack, but I'll wait till someone else does first, I think.
Yeah.
Grejio, your most anticipated, mate.
So I kind of split between three. So my first one, and it's probably my least of the three, pending a demo that will come out very soon, which is for Anthem.
Yep.
The next one is Rage 2. Look, I love the first one, so I'm excited for the next one. And then my big one is Cyberpunk. I think that's going to be amazing. So
yeah, Cyberpunk's definitely up there. I can't wait to see how that will go and how it'll run and all that sort of stuff. So I'm intrigued to see how it runs across the systems, because obviously we've seen footage from high-end PC, from the X, and version from the Pro as well. I'd like to see what sort of downgrades it would have for the standard systems. But we'll soon find out soon enough. Lucas, most anticipated, mate?
Oh, this is hard. Super hard. I know you're all expecting me to say one particular game.
Well, we're still not 100% sold that that's coming out next year.
Well, true, but assuming it is, because but that's not my most anticipated game. My most anticipated game is probably one that you would never guess. Do you want to have a guess? I don't think anyone will guess it. It's a big game. It's a big game. Everybody will know it. It's not like an obscure thing that no one would know about.
I think you'd have a bit of enjoyment for Anthem, being it's that technological sort of side of it.
Ding, 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 ding. That's it. You got it in one. You know me really well. My most anticipated game for 2019 is Anthem.
All right. Well, my most anticipated, it's probably going to be pretty obvious to most. It's the game that I've pre-ordered. I have a statue coming for it. It is, of course,
Dysentery 2.
The Division 2, I can't wait to get more information on it. I am crossing everything that I can bring my character from Division 1. And I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into it.
Yeah, worthwhile. I mean, the amount of time spent with the first one for you is incredible.
Yeah, so, and the fact that the first one's still installed on my system after all this time, it's something that I still jump into occasionally. I'm pretty terrible now compared to what I used to be, just because, everyone else has moved and changed with the meta. My old meta, which is probably the better part of 10, 15 major updates ago, it's kind of swung back around, so it's still quite powerful, which is good. And it's just something that, the story, everything, I don't know what it was for the amount of people that really despised the Division. I could not get enough of it. It was just the one game. Oh, Pat, what have you played this week? Division. Anything else? No.
I didn't despise it. I just fell up with it very quickly.
Yeah, I loved the story.
It just didn't hold me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for a game that I could jump on and go into the Dark Zone and do laps of the Dark Zone all night, it was insane. And 90% of the people that you'd come across would want to fight you, and then as soon as they realised that you were so much more powerful, they wanted to team up. And I ended up, getting a lot of new friends that were always playing it, and those people, they still pop up on my list that's what they're playing still.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I can't wait for it anyway.
It was one of those things. If you didn't like playing the Dark Zone, it ran out of steam for you. And I had moments where I played with friends in the Dark Zone, and I could see how that was fun, but it wasn't enough to hold me. So what I'm hoping is that Division 2 has just as many hours of fun for you as Division 1, unlike Destiny for me. Destiny 1 had thousands of hours, whereas Destiny 2 only had 100-ish. Hundreds.
That's all. Just hundreds.
Just hundreds. See, Division 1, I only got, I think, just shy of 600 hours. And for me, that's pretty impressive, given that I don't get a lot of time to game. So it's definitely was an addiction for a while there.
Look, yeah, like I said, I'm literal when I say thousands of hours in Destiny. But
I've seen your stats. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And when you stack it up with D2, I just hope that that's not what happens for you in this instance. I hope that it's just as fulfilling as the first one.
If it does, I'll have a pretty statue to look at least.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, this is true. All right, guys. Well, that's the show. That's us done and dusted for episode 243. Have we got anything else you want to bring up? Any other thoughts?
Yeah, look, I've got a list of special thanks that I want to go through, actually.
Beautiful.
So the list here, then, this is in no particular order, so don't get your nose in a twist or your knickers. What is it saying? Don't get the shit.
Don't get your knickers in a knot.
Yeah, that, whatever. So special thanks, and this is to our listeners, our community. Skrill, Radicus, you unstoppable sex machine, you. Uncle Chunt also is an awesome member of the community. Kaza Kyle, Martikins, another big one as well. You guys might not sort of know too much about him because he lives in the United States. You can't ever really get him in the live chat, because when we record this, it's probably like a stupid hour of the morning.
Very early morning for him, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So it's he's never really there, but he's always listening. He's always commenting, messaging us and all that sort of stuff. And that's Rusky Big Musky. So Thank you very much to him. He's always given us real detailed comments on our Facebook page. He's a really good community member. And he's been there since before Aussie Gamers Express existed, because I first, not really met, but internet met, Rusky back in the days before I was doing a podcast, when I was listening to an American podcast by the name of Xbox Achievers and our Xbox World they eventually changed to, and things like that, and then Chomp on This Gaming. He was a big fan of them and I was a big fan of them, so we sort of conversed through that, and they finished up and he came across and listened to Aussie Gamers Express, and he's a bloody legend of a bloke, so good on him. So yeah, Skrill, awesome, Radicus, Uncle Chunt, Kazza, Martikins, Rusky, love you guys. Thank you very much for everything that you guys do. And as much as it's a piss take and a laugh in the live chat, you guys make it though. You make that. You own that live chat. Somebody posted, "Oh, is that too much?" I think it was Radicus for what he put up.
Yeah.
Like, man, that chat, you own that chat. You do what you want in there. So go nuts.
Yes.
Good
you
on you.
guys go nuts.
All right, but that's the community members aside. Also, want to give an even bigger shout out to you, Rem, Greg, Snoogs. You guys are awesome. You guys have helped keep Aussie Gamers Express a podcast. You've kept it alive, kept it afloat, and because obviously, things change in our lives. Things get harder. Things get easier. Things get different, and you guys have stepped in. And you guys started with episode 1 for 2018, and you have been there all year and made this year what it is. And I think it's been a bloody fantastic year. It's a shame that I can't be on full time anymore, but that may eventually change. But thank you very much. Special, extra special to Snoogs. You've jumped into the hot seat with not really much notice, and you've run with it. You've done a bang up job, buddy. You've done an amazing job. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Well, I do have some thank yous as well. 2018 has been, one of our biggest years. We've seen the podcast grow, our web page, our interaction across Facebook, and now that we're using Discord, everything's just growing. So a big thank you to all the community members, because let's be honest, without you guys, we wouldn't be. It's great to have this great community behind us. That we've gotten involved with so many of them. Everyone seems to have a bit of fun, have a lot of laughs, and it's all really respectful as well. We haven't had to use the ban hammer in years now. So that's one thing. Also, all the companies out there that help us, that talk to us, that listen to us, and let us review their games, their products, and give us information about upcoming things that we're able to share and help us with our content. So a big thank you to all those people as well. Rem, Greg, co-hosts, thank you very much for coming and putting up with me every week. It's
hardly putting up with, bud.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah, we're slowly and surely making the podcast very much our own, and helping to grow. It's great that you guys come along once Lucas had to step aside. So that was great that you guys come along with me to go forward. And yourself, Luke, everything you do in the background for the podcast, mate, as well as all the social media stuff, all your editing, your funny little snipes, your stuff extra bits that you throw in there, your edits that make it sound like I say things that I don't say.
Yes.
It's brilliant, mate. I listen back and I look for it because it always makes me laugh. So thank you very much for all that stuff you do. And
No
I think that's about it, guys. I do have a last word, though.
I do.
Who the f*** said that?
I have some last words too, but
I'll say the light said that first. The light of one year is only outshone by the promise of the next. Anyone get any ideas through where that would have come from?
No.
was it Skyrim? You love Skyrim.
No. It wasn't Skyrim, Radicus. It wasn't D-Trump. It was what happens when Snoogs has too much to drink and has an email in front of him.
Merge planes.
So I wrote that and emailed it to myself for some reason. I must have been thinking about the podcast at the time because it said in the email, use this for the podcast. And I went, all right, that looks good.
All right, pass, Pat.
Yeah.
Good old pass Pat. Every now and
Looking
then.
out for future Pat.
Sometimes he
up
looks
with
out
some-
for future Pat. Most of the
Yeah.
time he just fucks him. But
He usually leaves a dirty steamer. This time it was all right.
yeah.
Greg, your last words, mate.
So a few. I just want to get through them quickly. One, I noticed that my Instagram is going to turn 2 on the 24th of December. I've forgotten that I started on Christmas Eve 2 years ago. I just want to say a big thank you to all of those that have either followed, liked, or commented on my my Instagram in the last in the last 12 months. It's really exploded, and it's to do with you guys. And I just want to say thank you. Yeah, it's been really good to get some feedback from you guys, and yeah, it's nice. I appreciate everything. I know Skrill and Chunt specifically. I know them off the top of my head that have passed on kind words on Instagram, and I thank you boys for that. And anyone else that I can't think of off the top of my head, but leading into that, Chunt. If you haven't checked out his Chuntcast yet, definitely do that. I did some catching up this morning. It's really good. It's just,
Yeah, I watch all of his videos on YouTube. Absolutely.
yeah, they're really good. Catch him on YouTube. Just search Chuntcast and it'll pop up.
Yeah, he the dude can draw too. He does some videos of him like doing drawings and stuff on live streams where he draws. Oh, you talented bastard!
Boy's got some talent. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what's worse? I was listening to his latest Chuntcast, and he's talking about releasing maybe one. He just said, I might release an EP next year.
Yeah.
He goes, it might actually release 2. And I'm like, 2? You cocky bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll support that guy to the moon. I love him. He's a good bloke.
Yeah, he's great. RDR2, I just want to have a quick word about that. So I haven't finished it yet, and I specifically didn't because what I was thinking is I'll finish it over the Christmas break, and we can come back next year, maybe first episode, we can discuss Endgame RDR. That'll give everyone else that's playing it, you're warned to get it finished as well. And anyone that doesn't want spoilers, editing Lucas will give you a number to skip to get around it. But I reckon we can, because I know you want to talk about it, Snoogs. So
I don't know if you've realised, but I think for the past 4 or 5 episodes, RDR talk has dominated the first 45 minutes of every show.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I promise it'll be the last one. That's why we're talking about Endgame.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like,
this year.
this needs to wrap up because it's just going to be turned into the RDR2 podcast.
Yeah, no, that's why I want to talk about Endgame, so we can finally wrap it up.
Or you can just be on the spoiler cast.
On the spoiler cast, yeah. Lucas and I are setting up for a spoiler cast. So hurry up and finish it.
All right, I'll finish it, and then I'll do spoiler cast, and then we don't have to worry about it. All right,
there you go.
cool. So I have 2 more things. First one is actually a question. Do you guys have any gaming New Year's resolutions?
Play
Just
more.
tell us. Play more. That seems to be the same one. Play more. I know that's mine.
Well, I
didn't
keep
play
it, so it's a good
nearly
one.
enough. I didn't play nearly enough new games to them as the fullest that I should have this year, and I want to try and change that for next year.
Yeah, you
So-
better.
Does anyone else have?
Oh, I've got a quick thing I need to mention that I forgot to mention in an honourable mention.
Yep.
But I can't remember what it was.
Your New Year's resolutions. Remember all your honourable mentions for next year.
Yeah, I'd have to be. Hang on. Let me check. It won't be long. I'll find it. Stand by.
Alright.
Simosity. Bloody honourable mention.
Yeah.
That zombie game at Simosity. That's got to be an honourable mention. VR in real world. It's brilliant. Love it.
We should have a video of that next year for everyone of
Yes.
all us idiots playing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Now in the
that's
city,
fun.
not over in Macquarie Park anymore.
Oh, has it moved?
Yeah, it's moved into Chinatown.
Oh, I thought they opened up another one with somebody else. But anyway.
Yeah, it's technically opened up another one, but the one at Macquarie Park shut for a little while while they renovate that one,
Okay.
and they've opened up in in Chinatown.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So
no New Year's resolutions for me for gaming, though. No.
No, Rem,
Yeah, play more.
play more. Yeah, let's play more. All right, cool.
Finish the games and play some more.
Finish the games and play some more. Yep. Okay. So just quickly, I also want to iterate the thank yous to both Ram, Snoogs, and Lucas, and all the guys on the Discord and the rest of our community, as Radicus put out there. I believe it was Radicus talking about the fact that it feels like we're all friends.
Yes.
And I want to say, yeah, definitely. It is very friendly, especially on Discord. So if you guys are listening and you're interested, and you think, hey, I want to get in on that, definitely join Discord. Join in the conversation, especially in the live chat while we're recording. It's hella fun. Definitely get in. But thank you to everyone that's been supporting. Thank you to you guys. Thank you, Lucas. Like I said, you're not exactly as seen as you used to be, but you're definitely working just as hard as you always have, and that needs to be said.
Thank you.
Last thing, code word. So I have a code word. The code word is fantasy. Fantasy will be the code word until we get back. So pump that. I want to see how many times you guys can pump that code word. But the clues. Now, I've got an option for you. I've got one clue, but I also have 2 bonus clues to keep you mulling over. Now, should I give you all 3 or maybe just 2? What do you think?
It's up to you. Or I can drop some code words in that other show.
All right, I'll tell you what. I will give you the 2, and the third one you can drop on. I assume you're going to do one more, the other show before the end of the year.
I think there'll be at least one more. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe on your last one, I'll give you the last clue for your last show. How's that sound?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Okay. So the first clue is the Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon, and the second clue is the Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, and that's added to last week's clue, which was the Bourne Conspiracy.
Terrible sequels.
No, that's not it.
No.
So yeah, put your thinking caps on over the break, and like I said, one guess a week. It still counts over the break. It's not one for the break; it's one every week. So put your thinking caps on. Message me, Jimmy, and Discord, Facebook, wherever. I will get your messages, and if you're right, then awesome. You will be the winner on the first show back.
Awesome.
So, and I'll put them up in the clue list. So, got them there.
All right, Rem. Any more last words from you?
Not many, because it is a long show right now. But again, thank you everyone. It's been an awesome year, and I am very much looking forward to next year.
Beautiful.
We can't really look back on it, can you?
Depends if you're Michael Jackson and moonwalking.
Good one, Dad.
Yeah. Right now, your daughter's asleep, rolling her eyes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that called Rem?
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Ah, dear.
Well, probably only one other thing really to say, and Lucas, you can stop me if you wish, but big changes coming.
Oh. Well, I don't know. How much do you want to give away?
Well, I'm not really giving away anything. I'm just sort of letting some people know. There's some changes on the horizon for Aussie Gamers Express.
Yeah, we're going to work on some big changes over the break.
Yeah, so we're all going to get together a few times over the break and put our thinking caps on and see what we want to do and all in the name of fun and growth and continue to grow Aussie Gamers and the Aussie Gamers community. So it's something to keep an eye out for, and there'll be more information as it comes up. Radicus says make it interesting.
What an
we're gonna work out an algorithm to stop any POMs able to listen. Don't worry, love you, Radicus. Love you.
Anyone over the age of 400 can fuck off.
He's a jammy bastard.
All right. If that's it from everyone, I'll wrap up the show. Last show, Game of the Year for 2018. A very thank you to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening to that this far along. Kaz, Radicus, Skrill, you guys' names keep coming up. Thank you for hanging around with us and making that chat the barrel of lunacy that we all love. Thanks, Greg, Rem, and Lucas for everything that we're doing on and off the show and for hanging around for this one. To all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics we've discussed on our Facebook page, Discord channel, or really just leave us some notes anywhere you listen to your shows. That's all from me. As always, I am Snoogs.
I'm Remutha.
I'm Lucas.
Ah.
I don't know when I go.
I always wrap up now. So, and on that note, I have been Grejio.
Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Whatever you
Merry, happy,
celebrate.
and Christmas, New Year to you all.
Yeah. Happy New Year's. See you next year.
Peace.
And what's that sound was the Karok from Legend of Zelda.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. We're just going to make you wait until after the Christmas break to find out.
That's it. That's all we have for another year of the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. We have had another fantastic year of creating a weekly podcast for your enjoyment and entertainment. We will be back in the new year with a refreshed podcast with all new music and sound effects to assault your earholes. There is one big change in the works for the new year that you'll have to come back to find out what that is. You can still keep in touch with us over the break through our social media outlets such as Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and YouTube. I will also be making more episodes of that other show during the break, so you'll need to keep an ear out for those. Thanks again for a great 2018. I am Lucas, and until next time, I will see you.